Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall. Genius is the ability to put into effect what is on your mind. Personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures. A big man has no time really to do anything but just sit and be big. Cut out all these exclamation points. An exclamation point is like laughing at your own joke. The victor belongs to the spoils. The world only exists in your eyes. You can make it as big or as small as you want. Family quarrels are bitter things. They don't go according to any rules. Reserving judgments is a matter of infinite hope. In the real dark night of the soul, it is always 3 o'clock in the morning. The compensation of a very early success is a conviction that life is a romantic matter. In the best sense, one stays young. Vitality shows not only the ability to persist, but the ability to start over. You can stroke people with words. The rich are different from you and me. Writers aren't exactly people, or if they're any good. There are a whole lot of people trying to be one person. There are all kinds of love in this world, but never the same love twice. Nothing is as obnoxious as other people's luck. It takes to make an accident. I don't want just words. If that's all you have for me, you'd better go. Action is character. I was within and without, simultaneously enchanted and repelled by the inexhaustible variety of life. Forgotten is forgiven. No amount of fire or freshness can challenge what a man will store up in his ghostly heart. People disappear, but they never really go away. Experience is the name so many people give to their mistakes. We are all queer fish, queerer behind our faces and voices than we want anyone to know or than we know ourselves. Great books write themselves. Only bad books have to be written. Part of that vision, sex, and part of it is a mystic bond between men. Life is much more successfully looked at from a single window. I am not a great man, but sometimes I have to keep myself from the belief that I am. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. You are the finest, loveliest, tenderest, and most beautiful person I have ever known, and even that is an understatement. It's not a slam at you when people are rude, it's a slam at the people they've met before. Let us learn to show our friendship for a man when he is alive and not after he is dead. They slipped briskly into an intimacy from which they never recovered. There are no second acts in American lives. All good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath. What'll we do with ourselves this afternoon, and the day after that, and the next 30 years? I like people and I like them to like me, but I wear my heart where God put it, on the inside. I love her, and that's the beginning and end of everything. When people are taken out of their depths, they lose their heads. No matter how charming a bluff they may put up, the capacity for hope is the most significant fact of life. It provides human beings with a sense of destination and the energy to get started. Everybody's youth is a dream, a form of chemical madness. It's never too late to become who you want to be. For a while, I thought that was love. Human sympathy has its limits. I'm a romantic. A sentimental person thinks things will last. A romantic person hopes against hope that they won't. Writers aren't people exactly, or, if they're any good, there are a whole lot of people trying to be one person. It takes a genius to whine appealingly. There is no difference between men and intelligence or race so profound as the difference between the sick and the well. No grand idea was ever born in a conference, but a lot of foolish ideas have died there. It's sadder to find the past again and find it inadequate to the present. I don't ask you to love me always like this, but I ask you to remember, there is no confusion like the confusion of a simple mind. All life is just a progression toward, and then a recession from, one phrase, I love you. I want to know you moved and breathed in the same world with me. Her voice is full of money. There are open wounds, shrunk sometimes to the size of a pinprick, but wounds still. You are bound to be most aware of your own self. We're very much alike, you and I and you. We both have an unutterable sense of loss. We both feel that we've lost something irreplaceable. I shall go on shining as a brilliantly meaningless figure in a meaningless world. Though the jazz age continued, it became less and less an affair of youth. I'm a slave to my emotions, to my likes, to my hatred of boredom, to most of my desires. There are many sorts of books, but good ones are the sort for the young to read and for the old to reread. Men get to be a mixture of the charming mannerisms of the women they have known. Our lives are defined by opportunities, even the ones we miss. Trouble has no necessary connection with discouragement. The idea, is that the sentimental person thinks things will last. The romantic person has a desperate confidence that they won't. I was always saving somebody all my life. Don't marry a man to reform him. That's what reform schools are for. There is no beauty without some strangeness. Too much of anything is bad, but too much champagne is just right. You can't repeat the past. Riches have never fascinated me, unless combined with the greatest charm or distinction. Genius goes around the world and its youth incessantly apologizing for having large feet. What it matures, it wears those big boots. There are only the pursued, the pursuing, the busy, and the tired. A great social success is a pretty girl who plays her cards as carefully as if she were playing. I don't want to repeat my innocence. I want the pleasure of losing it again. Youth is a dream, a form of chemical madness. He wanted to care, and he could not care. There are no second acts in American lives. People try so hard to be smart when all they want is to be loved. Writers aren't exactly people. There are a whole lot of people trying to be one person. Sometimes it is harder to deprive oneself of a pain and of a pleasure. I'm not sentimental, I'm as romantic as you are. The idea, is that the sentimental person thinks things will last. The romantic person has a desperate confidence that they won't. They're a rotten crowd. You're worth the whole damn bunch put together. You can't have anything worth having without a fight. Speech is an arrangement of notes that will never be played again. All good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath. The best of America drifts to Paris. The American in Paris is the best American. Life is essentially a cheat, and its conditions are those of defeat. The redeeming things are not happiness and pleasure, but the deeper satisfactions that come out of struggle.